Hello and welcome to my forest. Today, since I haven't delivered you guys a long-term video in a while, I am going to be reading some Skinwalker paranormal Reddit stories because I'm a big nerd of that stuff. Just gonna read some Reddit stories on my iPad and we're gonna rank them in tiers. So the tier thing today is going to be OMLL. Oh my lordy lord. Okay, so the O is going to be, oh my god, which this is like the scariest, the most spookiest story ever. It made me turn around. It made me all freaked out. It was a good one. The N stands for, okay. This means it was I. The first L stands for lame. This story was lame and I do not believe it's real. The last one stands for leave. This was the worst story I've ever read. You know, this mask hurts my nose because like I need to fix it and I might change masks. I'm changing masks. I'm sorry, one sec. Okay. I've put another mask on. This first story is from The Darkness Diaries, and it is titled Skinwalker Sighting, a true horror story from the Southwest. Okay, before this video gets started, please subscribe, like the video, and make sure you grab some snacks, a drink, curl up, because it's about to get freaky. Okay, ready? I've always been a skeptic. Ghosts, aliens, monsters, they were all just stories to me. But after what I experienced in the Southwest, my perspective on the unknown has been forever altered. I was on a road trip with my best friend Jake. We had decided to take a detour through the Navajo Reservation in Arizona, mainly because of the scenic beauty and the rich history of the area. We had heard tales of skinwalkers, but we laughed them off. They were just myths, right? Our first day at the reservation was uneventful. We visited a few local spots, interacted with some of the locals, and set up camp near a canyon. As night fell, we sat around our campfires, sharing stories and enjoying the scenery of the desert. Around midnight, Jake decided to turn in. I stood up, mesmerized by the stars. The Milky Way stretched across the sky, and I felt a profound sense of peace. That is, until I heard it. A low, guttural growl echoed through the canyon. I froze, thinking it might be a coyote or a mountain lion. But then I heard a voice. It was distorted, as if someone was speaking through a broken radio. But it was unmistakably Jake's voice. Come here, it beckoned. Confused, I turned to our tent. Jake was sound asleep. The voice called out again, this time from the opposite direction. I grabbed a flashlight and shone it towards the source. What I saw will haunt me forever. Standing on a ridge was a figure. It looked like a man, but its limbs were elongated, and its eyes glowed a sickly yellow. It wore tattered clothing, and its skin was a mottled gray. But the most disturbing part was its face. It was Jake's face. I stumbled back, my heart racing. The creature mimicked Jake's voice again. Come here. It took a step towards me, its movements jerky and unnatural. I bolted toward the tent, shaking Jake awake. We need to go now, I hissed. He looked at me, confused, but the urgency in my voice spurred him into action. We packed up as quickly as we could, the creature's voice echoing around us, mimicking our voices, our laughter, our conversations from earlier. As we sped away in our car, I glanced in the rearview mirror. The creature stood in the middle of the road watching us, its yellow eyes glowing in the darkness. We didn't stop driving until we reached the nearest town. We checked into a motel, and I spent the night researching skinwalkers. The legends said they were witches who could take form of animals or people, using their voices to lure victims. I don't know what we encountered that night, but I do know one thing. The stories are real. The Southwest is beautiful, but it holds secrets that are beyond comprehension. And I'll never set foot on the Navajo Reservation again. So all of you reading this, please be careful when you venture into unknown territory. Some legends are rooted in truth, and some nightmares are very, very real. Okay, that one like made me want to look behind me, but this is also just like a thing I have. But low key, that was that first story goes into the story is gonna go into the first L because I don't believe it. I feel like that was very vague. That was either very vague storytelling or like it just doesn't sound real to me. Let me go. If the comments are on this video, because I figured out how to turn them on, Comment down below your thoughts on all this. So, ow, my snout. Okay, next freaking story. Holy freaking long story, dude. Okay, anyway, this one is from Xander 101, titled My Skinwalker Experience. Unfortunately, it has taken me a while to post this. Been extremely busy lately, unfortunately. First off, I had told the story before in public setting around 2008. I was living in Louisiana at the time and had called into the coast to coast AM and told the story to George Norrie, who was a pretty cool experience. I didn't have a whole lot of time to tell someone a lot of the details, so you'll be getting the unedited version, so to speak. It happened somewhere between 1997 and 1999. I was in my late teens and we were living in New Mexico up near the Four Corners. My parents were pastors at a local church in a very small town. We had lived outside of town, sort of in the middle of nowhere, and were a few houses sprinkled around us. Surrounding was at least where there were no houses. There was some brush and a lot of desert. Ever since we moved there, the locals told us about skinwalkers. Even people in the church warned us about them. One guy in the church swore up and down that when he was a truck driver, he saw a skinwalker in its human form running alongside his truck when he was going around 80 miles per hour. But since I didn't witness it, I just took him at his word. I had heard many different tales on the origins of the skinwalkers, both from the locals and the Native Americans. There was a Native American who went to our church who still held onto his Navajo beliefs, who told me what I always assumed to be a more accurate description. He told me that when people of his tribe had a child out of incest, and the tribe leaders would take the baby out into the desert to be raised by wolves. The wolves would raise it and they would become skinwalkers, having the power to turn anything, animals, humans, having the power to turn into anything, animals, humans, etc. The story fascinated me. He just seemed to know for sure that it was the accurate tale. Then he warned me to never whistle at night, which I thought was pretty weird, but I never did until one night. Yeah, that is a constant rule you will hear in about the Appalachian Mountains, like all the skinwalker sites. Like, you'll hear that same rule over and over again. Never whistle in the woods, never whistle at night, just don't do it. Like, don't mess with religions and like legends and stuff like that. Even if you don't believe it, I wouldn't recommend trying to prove it wrong, because that just sounds stupid. But, you know, if you die doing that, then you're just a fucking idiot, dude. Like, I've been warning! I'm giving you fucking warnings. Like, if you're not gonna listen to them, then be a fucking idiot. I don't care. Sorry. Okay, back to the thing. It was in the fall around 11 at night. Oh, God. I was in my bedroom, which was the furthest room from anyone in the house, and near the garage, watching TV or playing PlayStation. My mother was in her bedroom. My dad was at church studying, as he always did, till around midnight. My brother had a friend over that night, and they were going to spend the night on the back patio, which was a long rectangular room with screen windows all down it. Like I said, I was in my bedroom minding my business when my brother said this. His friend came banging on my door. Annoyed, I opened the door, and my brother, who is 4 years younger than me, and his friend are both frightened. My brother said, as they were on the patio goofing off, they heard someone walking around the backyard and saw what looked to be the top of a white bald head walk by the screen windows. That freaked me out, but, like, again, a white bald head. It's Mr. Clean going on a nightly hike. Okay, I'm already freaked out. What the fuck? Now, normally, I would believe my brother, since he would never make this kind of stuff up. But his friend was a huge liar and had told all tales about having been to Mars, even showing us the red dirt, which looked an awful lot like the red dirt you could find throughout the area, I might add. Of course, by this time, I had experienced a lot of paranormal stuff, but I was still skeptical. Bravely and annoyed, I grabbed my jacket and a flashlight, and the three of us went out to the patio. It was always creepy at night because it was always so dark, and the only light came from a nearby lamppost a few yards down the street. Our backyard was insanely small except for the right hand side of it, which was a bit bigger but held a trampoline which took up the better part of it. We stepped out we stepped out of the patio, my flashlight shining around the yard, but saw nothing. That was when I started hearing the crunching of leaves coming from the front yard. So the three of us went through the back gate to the front yard. Now our front yard was huge and had roughly 9 apple trees. Damn, 9 apple trees? Jeez. There was even a large creepy tree in the corner of the yard near the street I always stayed clear of for some reason. Yeah, I do that sometimes, but like I have like my backyard is like kind of big, and then like we have this like, and then it like turns, and then we have like this side yard, so like no light goes over there because we have like a wall, and it's like the yard, so like I steer clear of that way past nightfall because it gets so dark. But anyway, I like steer clear of there after night because it's like it gets really really dark. You can't see shiz, and it's just really creepy over there. So yeah. We had a close neighbor literally on the other side of the wooden fence. It was a nice family that had a daughter about my brother's age. And they also had a bunch of chickens, and sometimes they would wander into our yard, so that is what I thought was walking around our front yard. Shining the flashlight around, of course, I didn't see any chickens, but I did see something white walk behind a tree near the wooden fence. That was when I got very curious. The three of us walked slowly to the tree. I was being the protective big brother, and I kept the other two behind me. Before I knew it, I heard a loud whoosh and felt a gust of wind like something flew by us. My brother screamed out in pain. My brother always had his shirt off, which annoyed me because back then I was overweight and very self-conscious. But I noticed on his chest he had 3 long scratches across it. Scared and shocked, my brother ran back inside the house, leaving me and his friend. It all happened so quickly, but I ran towards the street where I was sure whatever it was had gone. His friend close behind me. Once we reached the end of our property, I could hear the sound of bare feet running down a paved road. So I shined my light towards the sound, but never saw anything. So I whistled some tune, and from down the road, I heard the same tune whistle back to me. Oh, hell no! Oh, hell no. Honey, I am jumping off a cliff if that ever happens to me. Obviously, I'm not dumb enough to, like, break the rules of Appalachia, but if I ever hear that, fuck no, dude. I am jumping off a cliff into sharp rocks, hoping I die. Not happening. Got it? Don't break the goddamn rules. Sorry, I got scared again. Intrigued, I whistled again, this time a different tune, and again the same tune was whistled back. My brother's friend started getting scared and kept trying to get me to go back inside. Yo, I'm with your brother's friend here, dude. I would be inside or off a cliff. But I was very intrigued. I whistled for the 3rd time, and that was when, very close by, we both heard a male voice say, "Hey kid, come here." There was no hesitation, and the 2 of us bolted back inside. Well, finally, you're being a fucking smart and not a dumbass. Wow. Honey, after your brother got scratched, hell the hell nah. He could deal with that himself, honey. I am going back inside. God. We went to tell my mother what happened, and she was already frightened because she was tending to my brother's scratches on his chest. We told her what happened, and my mother told us to stay inside. My mother has had some pretty scary paranormal encounters before. I need to tell those stories soon as well, so she believed us. I have never forgotten that encounter. My brother brushes it off these days, making out to be not a big deal, but I know differently, as does my mother. It's one of the May incidents in my life that literally bothers me to this day. Yeah. First of all, if you ever see something tall, If you ever see something tall and pale or like gray or like bald, it is a skinwalker for fucking sure. Like there's no goddamn doubts. I feel like even if you don't know that much about skinwalkers, you would know like the bare minimum basics. Tall, pale, bald, uncanny. You don't need any more clarification that it's not human. And if you don't know that if it's not human already, honey, you're just a dumbass. You're just a fucking dumbass at that point. Like, this motherfucker whistled once, not twice, but 3 fucking times after it whistled back. He dumb as fuck. He dumb as hell. Like, okay, if he, like, after he heard the man's voice, I'm glad, like, he went back inside, like, Jesus, you're smart now? Oh my god, it's a miracle. Just don't break the rules at all, like, and, like, if there's native people warning you, that's when you know some shit is up. So, don't break the rules. But I'm also, like, really curious on, like, his mother's paranormal experiences. Because, like, she's been on the earth longer than he has. She's probably experienced some crazy shit. So, I don't know. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. So, next story. Low-key, I'm going to put that one in the O tier just because I did look behind me a couple times. This one is a short one. From entertainer number 5745, titled "A True Story from My Childhood That Made Me Believe in Skinwalkers." A lot of strange things happened to me when I was just a boy, but this was the weirdest. I was 11 at the time. I was about 11 years old, and it was past midnight, 12:30 a.m. to be exact. My parents were asleep, but my cousin, who was 18 at the time, was still up. I had to take out the trash, so I brought my dog Barry with me. He was mostly black with a few white spots, always alert and by my side. The trash can was only a 30-second walk from the front door. I tossed the bag in, then turned around and called for Barry. But there was nothing. No footsteps, no tags jiggling, just silence. No! If anything happens to the dog, I'm gonna cry. No! Because Barry's looking such a cute name for your dog. No! Okay. I turned on my flashlight and looked around. He wasn't there. Confused, I started walking back towards the house. That's when I heard it. Heavy, fast, pounding footsteps coming up behind me. I whipped around and saw something I'll never forget, charging at me. It was something completely black, darker than the night around it, like it absorbed the light itself. A massive black figure running straight at me. It wasn't a dog or a pig or a horse, but somehow it looked like all three. Its body was wrong, just wrong. Its movement too fast, too heavy. It made no sound except for the thunder of its steps. No matter how fast I ran, it always felt like it was 2 steps behind me. This feeling of dread and fear instantly shot through me as I sprinted to the door, heart racing, flung it open, and slammed it shut behind me. I sat there on the floor, gasping, trying to process what just happened. Then it hit me. Oh, shoot, I left Barry outside. I started crying as I think of what that thing could have done to my innocent dog. I was scared to death. I couldn't leave him out there, so I stood up ready to go back out to find him, heart racing, until Barry came up walking toward me from his kennel inside the house. Inside, ... Calm and normal. He had never left the house. He was inside the whole time. Whatever I called to go out there, it wasn't my dog. Oh! Yo, that is scary as fuck. Dude, I thought this one was going to be like the last tier because of how short it was, but no. That is an easy M tier. No. Like, it's a tie for O and M. Jesus. That is spooky as hell. My fan is making a lot of noise. Jesus. That is scary. Oh my god. No, because, like, whenever I take the trash out at night, like, I have a trailer, and, like, we have, like, this space behind the trailer, and I have a fear something is going to, like, jump out and grab me, and then, like, something's going to chase me back to my door, because we have, like, this long stretch before the door. Yo! Oh, my God. That one was scary as hell, because it was relatable. Oh, my God. Whoa. Okay, that's gonna go in the M tier. We have another short one. This one is from Horror F4 Freak, titled Scary True Skinwalker Encounter. So this was a Saturday night around 9 to 10 p.m. and I had gone to see my friend who lived on the opposite side of my city. It's a train ride away. And I was planning to visit for a few hours. So I got there at about 5 p.m. and at first we were just chilling doing normal teenager shit, and eventually we went out to smoke some weed, just relax. So for the last few hours we were just smoking and talking in the park. But soon it fell dark and we remained in the park, and some smoke and smoke the last, I don't know how to read that. Once my friends were talking about some horror sightings, which is a bit cliche, but it was fitting at the time. Skinwalkers are the scariest in my opinion, my friend said. What's a skinwalker? I asked. She just stared at me blankly and laughed, which I found a bit odd, but I shrugged it off. It began to get darker, so I had to go, and I said goodbye to my friends and started walking. Now to describe what the road looked like, which I was walking down, was this long, eerie, and had two factories on one side and a canal on the other with a bike path. So I was walking down it, and I started to hear twigs snapping on the canal, and I just thought it was an animal at first. But when it started getting a rhythm, I released it as something else. So I stepped up and suddenly started hearing noises and cries for help. Help! Please, it hurts! It howled. Something in me just decided to check it out. As I started to walk to it, the screams became much more cursed and horrific. You're the character that dies first in fucking horror movies, you dumbass. I'm an extreme pussy, so if I ever hear that, I'm running the opposite direction into a local McDonald's, ordering 6-piece McNuggets and eating and hiding in the bathroom. Okay? Cool. I need to turn my brightness up. Okay. I got to the point where I covered my ears so much that it stung. That loud? Jesus! As I peeked over the bridge into a small canal, saw a huge, lanky, dark, and long-armed figure. As soon as I saw it, I ran. What the fuck was that? Okay. This isn't funny anymore. Holy shit. Okay, so my mom is cleaning the door, and the door is, like, right there, so, like, it slammed into the wall. I can't believe I got that on video. Holy hell. Okay. I don't like this anymore. Let's just keep reading. To the point where I covered my ears so much that it stung. As I peeked over... I ran for my life and went straight to the train, and luckily came early. Just as a reminder to believe in such things as they are true, as I've experienced such horror. Stay safe. To say I never slept for another month. What the fuck? Okay, that was going in the last L because, like, the last L tier, because, like, I don't believe that one for one fucking minute. It did freak me the fuck out because my mom gave me a heart attack while reading scary ass shit when I'm already on the edge. Oh my god. Okay. So, that one, yeah, I feel like that one was fake. It didn't have a lot of detail, and you said you were walking. Wait, no, you could have been walking to the train station, so never mind. But it didn't have a lot of detail. Like, you could be a really bad storyteller and it could be true, or, like, I just don't believe it. Like, I don't believe it. I do believe in skinwalkers, I just don't believe in that story, so last L tier didn't freak me out as much until my mom freaking scared the living freaking bejesus out of me.